Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, members of a Louisiana church congregation stopped a teenager who entered their sanctuary with a gun. And the Trump fixer turned foe takes the stand in the former president's criminal hush money trial.
And a few showers are possible tonight, but higher rain chances are looming. Your forecast on the way as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. For most people, their church is a place of peace and safety. But in recent days, frightening accounts of close calls between congregations and armed suspects have been making headlines. CNN's Laura Aguirre has more on the latest case to capture national attention, with a warning that viewers may find some images graphic or disturbing.
It was a morning of communion and song at St. Mary Magdalene's Catholic Church in Abbeville, Louisiana, Saturday. And then suddenly, chaos in the sanctuary. Father Nicholas Dupree and the deacon next to him taking cover behind the altar amid the screams of parishioners and reports that a teen with a gun had entered the back of the church. It was there that congregants confronted the armed teen and escorted him back outside, holding him until Abbeville police officers arrived, according to a church statement.
We did apprehend a young man. He is in custody. He is in the police custody.
I'm hurt. I'm angered.
The terror of those moments staying with several church members.
This is a society problem, not a local problem.
Potential gun violence also threatened members of this church in North Braddock, Pennsylvania recently. It was 1 week ago that a man pointed a gun during a live stream service at Jesus' Dwelling Place Church. He was tackled seconds later by a fellow church member and the pastor restrained him.
I'm thankful to God that I'm still here, because he definitely pulled the trigger.
The suspect in this case faces multiple charges, including attempted criminal homicide. In Louisiana, no one was injured, and the teen involved has been charged with terrorizing and 2 counts of possession of a firearm by a juvenile, confirmed police. A positive outcome to a potentially much more tragic encounter. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
In the Pennsylvania case, the suspect, Bernard Polite, was held without bond after an arraignment last week and was scheduled for a preliminary hearing today. An 8-year-old girl was shot multiple times in Alabama last night. More than 70 rounds were fired near Kimberly Avenue in Gate City. Police say the 8-year-old was in a car with a family member and was caught in the crossfire and hit at least twice. She was driven to a fire station and then taken to Children's Hospital, where we understand she is in stable condition. Police do not believe that car was targeted. As of this morning, no one had been taken into custody. A Houston man is charged with murdering a McDonald's customer who intervened in a dispute regarding an order. According to a criminal complaint, Anthony Martin Landry went into the restaurant earlier this month demanding a refund. One customer stepped in to defend the employees, and that sparked an argument between the 2 men. Police say Landry shot the other customer, who died on the scene. 6 former Mississippi law enforcement officers known as the Goon Squad are now being held at a federal Bureau of Prisons facility in Oklahoma City. Brett McAlpin, Jeffrey Middleton, Daniel Opdyke, Christian Dedman, Hunter Aylward, and Joshua Hartfield previously pleaded guilty to federal and state charges for the torture of 2 black men. The facility houses roughly 1,500 inmates on a short-term basis before they are sent to prisons throughout the United States.
We are tracking a few sprinkles and a few light showers as we go into this Monday evening. Up on first alert, pinpoint Doppler tracking some more cloud cover and a few spotty sprinkles close to the Kentucky and Tennessee border. Zooming into the Lake Cumberland Valley from parts of Wayne County, pushing into McCreary, also into Whitley County. If you're traveling on I-75 south of London this evening, a few sprinkles are possible. Also moving into parts of Knox and Bell counties, also close to Harlan over in Harlan County at this hour. A live look across the mountains tracking some overcast overcast conditions, also some mild weather. Most of us right now in the middle to lower 70s and a few upper 60s as well. Up to 68 for Somerset, 69 for London, up to 74 in Jackson, 72 over in Pikeville for Pike County at this hour. Tracking some more light sprinkles or a few light showers as we go into this evening. Not going to rain everywhere all evening long, but you may see a few showers at times. Also tracking some patches of dense fog to wake up on your Tuesday as lows are back in the upper 50s to lower 60s. More rain chances on the way tomorrow. Also on Wednesday, more details on those showers coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thanks. The man who once said he would take a bullet for Donald Trump testified against him today at the former president's criminal trial in New York. CBS's Jared Hill reports from outside the courthouse.
Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former longtime personal lawyer and fixer, took the stand Monday.
You plan on telling the truth?
In his testimony, Cohen detailed so-called catch-and-kill operations to quash unfavorable press about his former boss. Cohen implicated Trump in a 2015 effort to kill a false negative story a Trump Tower doorman had been shopping. Cohen testified that Trump told him, quote, "Make sure that this story doesn't get out. You handle it."
The prosecution has to portray Cohen as a fixer who was, the henchman to Donald Trump, close to him, set on, doing his dirty work.
Cohen's $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels is at the heart of the case. Prosecutors say Trump directed Cohen to make the payment ahead of the 2016 election to keep Daniels quiet about an alleged 2006 sexual encounter with Trump. Prosecutors say Trump then engaged in election fraud by classifying checks Cohen received as legal payments when they were really reimbursements for the Daniels deal meant to sway the election. The former president has pleaded not guilty and says the encounter with Daniels didn't happen.
I've got no evidence, and I'm innocent.
With former President Trump under a gag order not to talk about witnesses, he didn't comment on Michael Cohen's testimony today. Instead, Trump allies attacked Cohen's credibility.
This guy is a convicted felon. Does any reasonable, sensible person believe anything that Michael Cohen says? I don't think that they should.
Michael Cohen has admitted to lying under oath. He also served jail time on federal charges related to these payments. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The prosecution is expected to wrap up its case later this week. Independent vice presidential candidate Nicole Shanahan now says she owns the website domains brainworm.com and brainworm.ai. She's running with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who previously had a parasitic infection in his brain. Shanahan's social media post about the purchase appears to be an effort to make light of that illness in 2010. Kennedy himself has joked about it. RFK's campaign and an allied super PAC are suing Facebook parent company Meta. They're accusing Meta of election interference after a digital video released by the super PAC was briefly blocked on Meta platforms. The video is titled, "Who is Bobby Kennedy?" It features conversations with Kennedy meant to inform viewers about him while pushing back on criticisms of his candidacy. Staff members for indicted Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar are leaving in droves. Sources familiar with the situation say only about 3 or 4 full-time employees are left at his D.C. office, and they are all trying to leave. This comes after Cuellar and his wife were charged with accepting nearly $600,000 in bribes from 2 foreign entities. Cuellar has said they are innocent, and he vowed to continue his bid for re-election in November. A demolition had been planned for a key portion of the Francis Scott Key Bridge this past weekend, but that was postponed due to bad weather. However, that demolition, we understand, just began a short time ago. The planned demolition will help officials remove debris from that area and ultimately free the Dolly cargo ship. Back in March, the ship veered off course and struck a pillar of the bridge, causing it to collapse. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, do you have savings goals? Tips to help you with your short and long-term financial plans.
Plus, a soggy weather pattern continues for much of this week. Your forecast coming up.